we are. Sunday sitting with my sister.
Right, Sister Dana.
Yes, and Sister Rolanda. We so happy to be here this morning and sharing time and sharing space with you all. Hope you guys are having a good morning.
Yeah,
And
we are.
yes. And so Queen, I would like for you to tell. Can you tell us what happened yesterday?
So yesterday, big shout out to Sister Lek. I gotta make sure I get who because I'm gonna give a shout out to a few people. I think it's Black Women Lead and Black Women Lead, and Sister Lek, and there's one more, I think it's the Black Media. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all some shout outs. So yesterday they hosted a candidate forum. So I guess there's two gentlemen who's running for the position of God, my brain. Get your brain right, Londa.
Is it councilman?
No. They're running for. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to. So they're running for the superintendent of public instruction for the state of California. So it's not like just for Sacramento, but it's for the whole state. And they had a candidate forum, and so it was hosted by a few women's organizations. I'm gonna get those together, and it was in Oakland at Holy Names College, which was a very nice place. It was up in the Oakland Hills, beautiful, and they basically, it was awesome. I really wish that because I know I've been busy myself, but if I was in my right mind or caught up with my work like I'm supposed to be, I would have tried to take some people, who basically work with young people around instruction. What was so impressive about yesterday is that both candidates were pretty interesting. I guess they both had pretty good track records. Because I don't know them personally. So, just from what they shared, it seemed like it was really peace. Good morning, Margot. It was really, really good. Peace, Javon. But what was very interesting about it was the brother who's running, because it's a black man, one of them, he talked about Freedom School. And it made me feel like, okay, this brother must know a little something because he talked about Freedom School. The other dude didn't even talk about Freedom School. I thought it was a pretty good conversation. It was moderated by an awesome sister who got the questions in. They took a few questions from the audience. And I think sometimes some of us aren't really used to being able to have those opportunities. And those, I said some of us, not all of us, have those opportunities to really sit with people who are running for those kind of positions and ask them their positions or stuff, or even hear what they got to say. Because even after it was over, they stuck around and they shook people's hands, talked to people, and not no fake like somebody come guard me. They really actually talked to the women that were there and the men and whoever else was there. So this was basically a coalition of California Black women leaders and mothers to ask important questions about improving Black student achievement, because these two men were running for the California Superintendent of Public Instruction. And it was Tony Thorntman and then Marshall Tuck. And the moderator was Kimberly Ellis. She did a wonderful job. And then it was by the California Black Media, Sister Lek, and Black Women Lead. These three organizations, bomb. Y'all, Black women is on the move. We getting it in on all the fronts, So we know that the political front of voting is just as important as all the other fronts. It was really, really good. But it really made me do on my drive back, I thought about, is it possible for us as a people to just focus on Black folks? That's where I came up with that at. Because what really, really dawned on me is that I don't know how white people can attempt to help Black folks when we don't even appear to be any different from them in terms of culturally wise. When I look at all the other groups, including the Latinos, they appear to be different. They speak another language, and they still have their cultural norms and things like that. We know that Black folks had a different experience in America in terms of slavery, domestic terrorism, and the whole nine. But I don't know how we can, on any front, not just education. I'm not saying, 'cause I thought it was a wonderful thing. I was glad to Facebook Live it. But even in all of our things, policing, education, economics, family, the whole nine, how can other groups help us when you can't even identify? So let me give you a great example. I go to a lot of meetings where people are talking about Black this and Black that. No one looks like they have Black culture. We look just like these people. And then we say to them, you don't treat me right.
I was just.
I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was just telling my sis before we went live how I got checked yesterday. And I was telling an African sister, I was like, "Oh, I'm African too." She said, "I said, of course I'm African, born in America." She said, "Yeah, but when you look at me, you could tell I'm African." And you know what? I had to tell her, "Thank you." You know how when somebody check you, you can't get mad, you can't respond. I had to tell her, "Thank you." So I get what you're saying about.
And I'm not saying we can't do whatever we do, but
No, I'm
we
not
don't
saying
appear
that.
to be different.
I'm not saying that either, but we do, and then we do. We try to assimilate, even subconsciously. I think we try and assimilate, even in the fact that even if we don't like try to assimilate, even in the fact that we use them as a measuring stick. I think we talked about that. Like, why are we using somebody else as a measuring stick? So it's levels to it for sure.
It was quite interesting, and it brought me to this morning's topic. I'm gonna need y'all to chime in as listening as we sip on. I got coffee this morning.
I got coffee too, and y'all know what happened with
Lordy, I got coffee
with Folgers.
Yeah. This is New Orleans coffee, the one you get in the orange can that you could take. It's New Orleans coffee that I brought down. So I've been drinking the last couple of days. But is it possible to focus on black folks? Is it really possible? And be very honest, y'all. I mean, real talk, Javon. She said it's okay to create culture of Africans in America. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. But I'm just saying, even in the room of all the people we were in, black folks were trying to look, like they were like the way white people are. But yet you're worried about, what's happening with black people. And my thing is, it appears that black folks, like we're almost culturalists in terms of anything that identifies us besides our black skin. Because when I'm with Latinos and they start speaking Spanish or they talk about in the old country or in Mexico and blah, this is how we do this and that. Black folks, we be like, y'all don't treat me right, y'all don't police me right. But they like, we don't, you in my culture, so I'll do you the way I want to because you don't have nothing. It almost feels like that. So no matter how much we think we are, trying to get white people to love us or respect us or whatever, it just really appears that I don't even know really what the answer is. Honestly, it's besides from just getting your own culture or living in it or not be afraid to show your African self, because one of the key things in slavery and even after slavery is that they were trying to erase any kind of form that said that you were not like them. So then we show up like them, and they still don't, So I don't know. I think when we're talking about, and it's not just the education, 'cause I think education can almost be solvable if black folks are willing to do something for themselves. Or literally in all of the things, honestly. Because I feel like if we had a Saturday school for black young people and they got to still go face the other people, they'll be fine. Yes. If y'all can invest in sending your kids to a school on Saturdays where they get to learn about their culture, kind of like what other groups do, kind of like what Jews do, kind of like what Asians do, kind of like, you know what I mean?
That's
so
what
it's like
do.
If we could do that, then we could kind of agree.
Yeah.
If they did Freedom School on Saturdays, I don't know. Miss Jackie does it at John Steele. They talked about the reading scores being really impacted at all the schools for black kids in particular through Freedom School. That should right there tell them maybe we should change up this model.
Right.
Maybe we should, but in Freedom School you see culture.
Freedom School, you see everything about...
Go ahead, keep talking.
Freedom School, you see everything about yourself. From the moment you walk in, you know that you black.
They want to hear you.
You know that you black, and you know that you are somebody that has a purpose. And so Freedom School made me feel good. I wanted to go to Freedom School every day, and I'm a grown woman. And to see the children after, I was a guest reader a couple times this summer, and when I would see those children outside in the community, they would come up to me and tell me I did a good job, and
gas you up.
They would just gas me up, and I loved it. But being around that culture, and anybody would just be ready to learn and ready to launch. So Freedom School is the truth. And so that's something that we really need to consider. I know that Miss Jackie does it. I know that
Darren Roberts does it.
And I know that West to West. They got a nice plan on how to implement one. And it would be really nice to have a collaboration between the African market and that.
Yeah, I think everywhere though. I'm saying
No, I know.
No, I get it. The African
yeah.
market is always doing such awesome collaborations, so I'm not shocked at all because it has wonderful people backing the African market. So that's definitely one place. But even in the North area, even in Del Paso Heights, even where Oak Park, I think there should be those Saturday Freedom School where you get to learn about Black culture and yourself. That's what was very apparent. I don't know how we ask white people to fix us and they don't even know what to do with us. I think we don't understand that we are the evidence of a great crime that has been committed against humanity. I'm just saying.
Girl,
and so every time they look at you, they know that's what they see. And so to ask somebody, it always burns me up when I see us asking white people, how can you protect me? How can you educate me? How can you help me get a fair home loan? Something inside of me, honestly, almost cringes because I don't understand how you can ask people who made their whole life of being in America and thriving across the world off of our ancestors' back and now off of us.
Yeah.
How can you ask this person to free you when you have all the education? You have all the knowledge. You have everything you need. We got Google, for God's sake. You can Google it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I really think the answer is it's different. I know we pay tax dollars because, hell, we've been paying taxes more than other people have paid taxes. We didn't even get to have any health equity in our own homes from the redlining and stuff like that. So miss me with that. Yeah. We know that already. Not only that, we've invested centuries of enslavement of free labor to these people. Yeah. So you ain't got to tell me that it's our tax dollars. But what I will say is that we are so brilliant that we need to really just do for self. Yeah. It's not going to kill you just to say Black people and not Black and brown, because brown is fine. Brown has 5 television stations. Brown has a supermarket.
Yeah.
Brown has
a bakery. Girl, wait a minute. Brown can...
Don't you start
No, Brown, we always have these conversations. Y'all, we don't need to be talking about we need to be equal to somebody else. We need to build an infrastructure and we need to build. That's it. We need to focus on ourselves and we are who we've been waiting for, straight like that. And we got it in us. We got juice.
Well, of course we got juice.
We are direct descendants from the Creator.
That's right.
And y'all, no, don't get me started.
You can read some of these comments?
Yeah. Let me start out. Queen.
I
see Margot.
I know. Khadijah's on me about staying on the comments.
Okay, Khadijah. Okay, so Sister Javon Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum, says, I am going to bring this up at one of my meetings. Yes. Sister Allegra P, she says, yes, she agrees. Queen Margot, they still have that slave mentality that they need to work with whites. We really need to teach our own. That keeps them safe. They are much better when they are around their own. Yes, ma'am. Morning, sister. Morning, Queen April. Evidence of a great crime. Ain't that something?
I believe that.
That's evidence of a great crime. That's a cold cup of coffee. Yeah. Okay, Queen Kimberly, our children, grandchildren surely need to be taught that we weren't. Freedom School would be perfect.
Yeah, because I think so. I've seen the evidence of Freedom School. Yeah, to be very honest.
Me too. I sent my daughter to HBCU for culture. She had everything else. Queen Margot is saying power to the women.
Oh, real talk. Now the sisters, look here, those 3 groups, Sister-Lec, the California Black Media Group, it was headed by a sister that was there yesterday, and then the Black Women Lead. I'm just saying, we Black women, as Christy likes to remind me, we always been on point. Like let's not get crazy. We've always been on our posts. I mean, even if we was on the side, we still was on post. I just feel like we got to challenge ourselves more to to do for self. I feel like when I look at the suspension rates, we had a whole conversation. I don't know how much more we could talk about what's happened to Black children when those of us who came up in the 90s, who went to school in the 80s, it was hide in.
Yeah.
It was high in the
for
60s.
nothing. Well, we were really literally getting in trouble for nothing.
Well, that's that complicit bias.
Yeah.
Which always, that word always kind of throws me, but I get it now and I get it. But I also feel like, I also remember coming from people who were doers. So it disturbs me that I see doers, but they're not really doing. All they doing is begging and basically, I mean, I could see if we were, the Hmong just got a school here in Sacramento, Hmong community. They got a school where they can teach Hmong children. I'm like, well, Isn't that separation? Isn't that?
That's self-preservation.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but we do it, But my thing is, we can't even worry about what people think because our children are dependent on us.
Right.
We can't keep sacrificing
the
them,
children we haven't even met
can't.
is dependent on us.
Yeah, but we just can't afford that.
Yeah.
We cannot afford to be worried about somebody else's feelings when we know the suspension rate is high.
Because they ain't worried about ours.
Yeah, well, they are. They need them to fill up their prison. We got those prisons are being built based upon how well kids do in third and fourth grade. Yeah. And so I feel like, a lot of this information we know ain't nothing worse than a knowledgeable fool for me. It's great that you have that knowledge, but if you don't tell me in your next breath what you intend to do.
Right.
So while I was really impressed with the brother yesterday, Mr. Tony, he basically talked about Freedom School, but he also talked about culture in terms of what we can identify as black people and why he really understands and the work that he put forth and trying to help us. More than on the other side, I felt like there was a lot of this is what I could do to help y'all. Like it's kind of like, and then it's always either you'll say of color, which I'm not of color. I'm very offended by that word. I don't know how other Negroes feel, but I'm offended by it because I'm not of color. I am the color. Black is the color. White is of color because you have to go through all the other colors to get white. And I have to keep saying that because I think sometimes some of us are like, damn, we're like slaves on a whole other level.
Yeah.
However, it's okay to say this is what we do to help black children because you will document us as being black with all of our faults. But when it comes to like really trying to look at this thing, you want to act like we like of color. You lump us in with all the other groups. Right. Like it's like we are still not being allowed to be who we are.
Right.
Where it's like they're still kind of like not allowing us to stand in our own truth of who we are. And some of us are so self-hating that we would rather be in the of color group, even though they don't count you, that I just feel like it's some of that just kind of gets under my whole skin when we know that part of the answer is that we have to start being more accountable.
Yes.
We have to. I don't want to meet another black educator or administrator or a Negro with 50 degrees and they ain't doing shit. Because I think we have to just start busting y'all out. Like, well, what are you doing? Tell me, give me, and I don't want to hear you're an expert because you done read 50 books and 50 studies.
Yeah.
I want to know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Where's your program? Do you have 10 young people you work with a year? I'll take that. 5.
Yeah.
Hell, the kids on your block.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't get me started, y'all. This morning on Sipping with Sisters, I'm just saying.
No,
I thought about that.
She drinking coffee too, y'all.
I am, y'all. I'm drinking coffee this morning. That's like even the thing with justice. Like for instance, we had a young lady, a baby, a baby 3 years old that was shot in a drive-by here. So they didn't have as big of a turnout if a cop had shot a black person. They say that wasn't the biggest turnout. However, I feel like where's our justice in our community? See, I'm from old school. Like, the police may not help, but, other people, like, gonna know who pulled the trigger, and they gonna handle that. Because shooting a little 3-year-old, that's, like, not cool. That's against the whole code.
Right.
I still think black people live by codes.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that.
Yeah.
The other part to that is, and even saying that, is that I also believe that where is our own policing, black folks?
Yeah.
No, not marching. Let's take the marching out and do policing in our community. We'll see some effects of that overnight.
Right.
I feel like if we could just do a little bit more of that.
Right.
Can we police ourselves?
Well,
is that possible? Dana, what you think?
Well, we know it's possible because we saw it. We read about it, and some of us saw it. It happened before. We were doing it before when we had to. We need to emulate that which happened before, and we need to just come together too. It it can definitely be done, okay? And matter of fact, it's at a point, too, where it's absolutely necessary. But it's going to take, and here's that word again, unity. It's going to take that level of unity. When I say that, I mean like not set tripping on who's who and who's what. Just black people, period. I don't care what other stuff or jackets or socks or whatever you put on. We need everybody. We need everybody on deck.
All right, so let me challenge you with that, Dana.
Okay.
Because I think unity and all those words are like real nice concepts. It's like saying I would like to be 100 pounds lighter, but if I'm still eating 10 meals a day, that's probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
How you have to almost tell black people, this is how you unite. And not
Okay.
in cliche, like do we walk our kids home from school? Do
Yes.
we take turns of being at the park? Like
Yes.
how, you got to tell us how
Okay.
do we do it?
Okay, so when I talked about that unity word, this is what I talked. We know that there are a certain group of people that are known for policing. For example, and I was just telling Brother Michael yesterday, thank goodness for the FOI. We need FOI back on the scene.
You got to love the mic, baby. They can hear you. Go ahead.
We need FOI back on the scene. We miss y'all. We need to see y'all. And we need y'all out on the street. There's also some other people, too. I want to call their name right. Are they Hebrews?
Oh, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I think they could be Hebrew Israelites. I don't know what their proper name.
I know that they're known for policing the streets. I know, and we know Black Panthers. We know they definitely know what to do and how to police the street. So when I talk about unity, I mean like not us all fall in love with each other, but what I mean is we need to come together and not say, oh, I'm not messing with you because you're a Black Panther and I'm not messing with you because you're a Muslim. No. We need all hands on deck, and we need to pass the torch down too on training. Like for example, I know that the Nation of Islam is very vigilant in emergency preparedness. Okay, so we need to start having some community teachings on emergency preparedness because everybody not going to join the nation, and that's fine and that's okay. But if you're let's take it off of different organizations. If you are versed in a certain topic and you studied it, then you need to teach it. It's kind of like that each one teach one. So that's what I mean when I talk about unity. We can't just withhold knowledge. No, we have to go out and we have to make sure that our community is aware. If I got a whole bunch of water in my garage and a whole bunch of what do they call them? MIEs that got a 10-year shelf life or whatever. And if I got bows and arrows with scopes on them at my house, that's not going to do nothing for the people way down on 24th and Meadowview. You know what I mean? Right. If we can't maneuver that far. So that's what I mean. I mean that we're going to have to really take this stuff serious. And when we talk about wanting to have something of our own and sovereignty, then we have to do what sovereign people do.
Right on. Let me get to some of these comments. So Sister Nicole says, my baby is 3.5. What is a freedom school? Wow. Ooh. Freedom School is incredible. You want to tell them what Freedom School is? Because you actually had your nephew go. Well, I know a lot of kids go to Freedom School.
Yes. Oh, my God. And I watched people organize it and put it together, and they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I will forever respect Miss Jackie Rose for that. And I know other people do it, but I actually witnessed her doing it and her staff. But Freedom School, as soon as you walk into school, it's you do Harambe. They have Harambe before they even go to class. And so Harambe is equivalent to kind of like if you grew up in the church, how you know how you do that worship. What is it called? The worship and stuff before you go into praise and worship. It's kind of like praise and worship, but really they're just empowering themselves. They're singing empowerment songs. They got rap songs. I wish I could remember some of the songs. I could remember them if I hear them, but they talk about reading, focusing on literacy, and just letting them know, each child know that you could be anything that you want to be.
Right on.
And literally it worked for the adults too. Like I needed to go by there. I should have went by there every morning because it starts you up and lights your day. And then the curriculum, everything that you're seeing reflections of yourselves. So yeah, you're having math problems, but you're seeing reflections of yourself. You're reading, but you're seeing reflections of yourself. You're not talking about George Washington because that doesn't mean anything to you.
Right on.
But when you're reading stories about Nat Turner, That's what's going to light you up. And that's what's going to make you strive for greatness. And so Freedom School is the truth, y'all.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is the truth.
It is. And also, Rose Family Foundation, Robert Family Development Center. Those are the two groups that I know that do Freedom School. They do Robert Family Development Center. Family Development Center does there in North or the Paso Heights area, and then Miss Jackie Rose Family Foundation does here in the South area. Incredible work. Incredible work. I think if our kids went to school in that environment every day, they would be so empowered. They would be so empowered. It would be so empowered. And they also include singing into the music. I mean, into their work ethic. Because I know even when I'm writing on something, I'm listening to music. I'm not sitting there in silence, listening to birds chirping. I gotta have some jazz or something going on. I need music.
I like, because we're rhythmic people.
Yes, we are.
And so, yeah, I need music. I like music.
So that's the Freedom School is just incredible.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me get back to some of these comments here. So I want to make sure I got that sister morning. Okay. Sister Khadijah said, we have to be accountable. Very true. Very true. We need our own policing. The Guardian Angels community policing. I remember that in the 70s.
The Guardian Angels?
I remember the Guardian Angels. That's what I couldn't remember.
Are those the ones that's dressed in brown?
No, they had like little berets, and they were really famous in New York, and I think they were maybe some other cities. Oh. But I remember them policing, and that's what I mean. I don't mean like the fake thing of you. That's why I don't use words like that. I use like, this is what you need to do. It's kind of like when you're in the drug game, they don't say, y'all need to come together. They be like, this how you do it. This how you bag it. This how you sell it. This how you got to tell black people how to do it.
Right.
And so my thing is, hey, if you're a brother in your community, or a sister, and you don't like what you're seeing, sit out on your stoops. I'm from the East Coast. So go outside and sit in your garage, or however we do it out here in Cali, and talk to your neighbors. Go introduce yourself. See what they about. See how y'all can meet up. They got people meet up. Make a meetup ad. Hey, are you concerned about what's happening in your community? Come meet up. I think talking is part of it, because that's how you get to know who people are. But I also think, hey, go volunteer. Go get your fingerprints done, or whatever if you want to go into school and do it. Or even in your own community. I remember growing up in Philly, people watching us walk home from school. I remember that. I remember that totally clear. Like, people knew if we were all supposed to be in the house. They knew that. And they knew they would tell my mama. So, I was like, yeah, we're going to be on the stoop. We ain't getting off the stoop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you have to tell us. Because to me, unity is something that you see in action.
Right.
Right. If me and her sitting here right now, we in unity. We didn't make no pact to be like, we going to be in unity, right? No, we going to roll. We don't always
cooperate.
Yeah.
We don't always agree.
That's right.
But she know that I'm her sister. And I know she my sister.
Right on.
And we going to cooperate.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Sister Allegra says, we need to get back to our old school community, village life. Black people looking out for each other. Right on. That's what I just got finished talking about.
Oh, she said.
Looking out.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Go ahead.
So Allegra said, Panther Cub for life. Yes,
right on.
Yes.
Right on.
Pick up the torch and keep the flame burning. I know that's right.
That's right. Somebody asked, what is FOI? Sister Nicole said FOI, and Khadijah Jordan said FOI. So I guess say, what is that?
So I'm sorry, I assume, FOI is Fruit of Islam. So that's the men in the Nation of Islam. And they definitely are security orientated, and they are inclined to police the street.
Real talk. I remember them too growing up. So when I was coming along, because I'm 46, so in the 70s.
46 too.
Yeah, girl, I'm 46. Get ready to be 47 next month. No, I'm kidding. I can't believe I'm that old. But anyway, it's a joke. Because I remember, I don't feel like that.
I know, but if I can rewind back.
I know. So I remember, for me, when I was coming up, black folks were very much into their culture. I remember seeing daishikis, or my uncles playing the African drums, or the bembe, the djembe and stuff like that. I remember them saying, right on, sweet sister. Or hey, little sister, or hey, brother, peace, sister.
Yes.
That's in my spirit.
Yes.
I remember that.
That feels right to me.
And it feels good.
Yes. Spirit to spirit, yeah.
So I grew up in that era. So for me, even coming through the crack era where people were falling down, there was still residue And I had a mother who
Yeah.
believed in that, so we never lost that. That's why I can still be respectful to elders, even though I want to sometimes cuss their asses out, because I think they be completely out of pocket, or they may be some old people who really, we look at them as elders, but we don't even know, because there's old people and then there's elders. But I give old people elder status. I do.
Me too, because I can't even find. I know what you're saying about, especially when you know that they are out of pocket. Nothing in my spirit will make me check them. And I think it's because I know it's hard. But it's like because they're my elder. And it's like even if they ask me, they'll be like, "Can you do blah 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 blah?"
No. I don't mean that. I mean the ones that stand up and be talking all that crap, and you be able to say, "So what did you do?" Then they'll sit down.
Now, Ro is a boss. And she definitely will pose that question. Me, Croy, would kill me to ask that question. Because even I would be thinking it, though. But I would be smiling, but I would be thinking it.
So hold on. I'm trying to get some of these comments. I'm sorry. So where did I leave off at? Y'all don't kill me. I'm so sorry.
Okay, we stopped at Panther Cubs. Okay. So Nicole says, do they have preschool? And then Kalita Jordan.
I don't know if Freedom School has preschool, but I can ask Miss Jackie. I think you're talking about for Freedom School. I don't see why not. But I'm also thinking, y'all, there was a time where we got to figure out how to do our own. There's too many of us sitting at home, let's be honest, where we could be doing something like that.
Yeah, we could be
I'm just saying.
Matter of fact, we going to do
just
it.
Ask. I'm just saying.
So, and then Kalita said, red and black, I was in Los Angeles.
Red and black. Thank you.
Oh, that's the color they wore.
Yeah, I couldn't remember, sis. Thank you so much. Okay. That is the color they wore. Okay. I just couldn't remember. Thank you for that.
And Nicole says, I always sitting out in front of my house. Yep. I know that about all my neighbors. I know just about all my neighbors.
Right on.
Yep. Caldwell Mercedes says, we have to wake the people up first. Break that European mindset, then agree to disagree so we can rebuild our community. I truly appreciate this podcast.
Thank you, sis, so much for that. Let me just say something about that. I so agree. I think there's level to this, too, because some of us have been waking folks up for years. But at some point, like, for instance, if your job is to wake up the people. You know what I mean? Like that's your latest. That's what I mean about having this conversation. That's what you do now. Like sometimes you pass the torch off. Like y'all been waking people up for like a good 30 years. So I got to go do something else over here. My thing is there's a time and place where you have to say all of us are not wanting the same thing, because sometimes it dawns on me with some of this classism that I see with black folks, when I see all these educated people speaking for people that they would never talk to. That's a problem, because I may not want what you want. You're not my spokesperson. And I see a lot of classism with black folks. I see a lot of people with degrees who think somehow now they have a checkoff box that mean that they now could be city councilmen, or, I'm just saying whatever. They could be your representative. When to me, some of the best leaders I've ever seen came exactly out the street. They weren't tainted by education or, all of these other concepts that that will never work for your people, because we don't come from that like that. I feel like we have to figure out how do we use all of it. I love seeing educated college folks, which is great, but I also like seeing people who are on the street level who hasn't had that experience yet. I think we have to go back to mixing the two.
Right.
Because when I look at the Latino culture, I'll never forget this. This had to be in the 90s in California, in Sacramento, where the people who come and clean your office building was not getting health care. Do you know the Latino caucus orchestrated with the people who basically was cleaning out your office buildings if you work for the state or wherever, a walkout in which they were able to get what they need, but those people had to respect the people enough that was their representative to follow. And it's evident that black folks, we ain't together like that. No. It's evident that when black folks who claim they got 50 degrees know something better than you, but don't listen to what you know was best for you. Yeah. We got to stop that. Yeah. And that's why I believe that we're over here as different tribes in here, because all of us are not going together. Some of us, it's like we have to say, no, that person is speaking for her and her crew. I'm speaking for mine, because that's what you do, even in illegal business. Even when in the drug game, or even in the Italian mafia, they had families. They didn't have family. They didn't have the family. They had families, and they all came together to say what the hell they were doing and what they were in charge of. I'm sorry, because I think sometimes we understand that concept, but we're the only group that be like, the whole black nation. Ain't no whole black nation. There are many nations. You know what I mean? And some of us are looking for the same thing, and some of us completely are not. Some of us want to get rid of other people because they embarrass them. Like when black folks speak like Ebonics, some people be like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Fool, you ain't even English. Like, hell, who cares that you sound more English
Y'all
than
would
white
be
people?
embarrassing me because I know I don't speak the King's English.
Look, I'm saying I like that keep it real.
Yeah.
You know, I may chuckle because, we're animated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why people like listening to Richard Pryor back in the day, because he would say stuff and then he would put that little on it, but we knew what that meant.
Oh
One of the guys yesterday
Richard, that's my dude.
I love Richard Pryor. The guy yesterday, the brother kept it so real. He talked about his family growing up and them eating the government cheese. I'm telling you, the whole audience was
and
like,
make the best grilled
that's what he
cheese
said.
sandwich.
Once you got it to melt. But I'm just saying, I feel like we just have to break this thing down so black folks can understand. Those of us who want to help can say what it is that they can do. Some people's I'm on the wake up team. Good. Your job is to go up and wake. And I'm saying that's a special job to do.
That is a special job.
That's a special job. That's a special job. I'm saying that's a special job. It is. You have to be very special because black folks will make you be like, are you kidding me? I do my own breathers and woosah and all that. This is some James Brown, get back on up. And you know what I mean? Like,
or some Tupac. Yeah.
But then there's some people whose job it is just to start making a foundation. Good. So after you meet with people and you check out what they need, this is where you can send their kid to go to preschool.
Yeah.
To go to Saturday school. How do we have business meeting where people can come and bring that idea? We can, for those of us who are equipped, that can help them with, that's a great idea, sis. This is what you can do. It's levels to this. It's levels to it. But I believe we have all the pieces. You know why? Because we built America.
Yeah.
We built America on every level.
Yes.
We didn't just get to the White House with Barack Obama. We've been in the White House. Who the hell you think built the White House?
Right.
Who the hell you think cooked in the White House?
Yeah.
Who the hell you think made up the bands in the White House?
Who fed the babies?
Who fed the babies?
They babies.
I mean, y'all, come on.
Yeah.
Damn it, who you think made ham with cloves in it in the goddamn White House? Y'all know I'm a bit animated. Get to some of these comments.
With pineapples on it.
That's right, with pineapple on about the pineapple. And I ain't pork again. Look.
Me either. Okay.
Now, said, now we talking.
Okay.
Javon is laughing. Javon, you know I'm crazy.
Okay.
So she answered Nicole's question. I was thank you, Javon.
Yeah, thank you.
She said, "Are Haitian Machettes?" Hey, look here. I'm gonna tell y'all this quick. One time, my sister's back in Philly. This is how I know in Philly. One time, my sister got in a fight, and she's not really a fighter.
Which one?
Renee. It's my sister who's deceased. Blessed memory. So these girls was gonna try to jump her. She called one of my cousins in North Philly, and she came up on the bus with a machete. She had it in like a brown, like a trash bag, and she told my sister, like, we coming hard. And I was like, I heard the story. I was like, why would she bring a machete? Because she said she was coming to cut some heads off. I was going to say, okay, that's some other warrior kind of blood. Like, I'm just saying. And so when Javon talked about that machete, some people be into that machete because there's a place in the nation for people who do that. And in our world, there's a place.
So I guess it is a place for some Nat Turner stuff.
Hey. What would we do without Nat Turner? It's hot too.
Right.
Some of us give old people Elvis that. You know I do, Javon. I be having to pray though, because sometimes I have to cuss them out. They fed up by speaking out. That's so true. That's so true.
Did we talk to Alana yet?
No, where Margot is. We're trying to make sure, because my sister is on me about comments.
I know, but my phone jumped.
Okay, so mine is, so Margot types in caps, which I think is so hilarious.
And I can see her.
Can I ask you a question, Queens? Okay, a question. I'm working with a group of women that want to know about what took place in the 60s. When I start talking and telling them how I did get through to them, without saying, how does she get through to them without saying fucking and tell me how? Okay, wait. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is what I know, Sister Margot. All you can do is tell people the truth. They can take it or let it alone. Now I sound like Mr. Faircon. Mm-hmm. He always say, take it or let it alone.
All right, brother.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do is just tell people. Like, people ask me, a lot of young kids ask me, what happened in that crack era? What happened? I get that a lot. That's probably the most period of time that people ask me about. Well, Ms. Rowe, you talk about a time, like, it wasn't like that. My grandmama was on drugs. My mom was. I have those kind of conversations. I tell them the truth as best as I can, but I also tell them with a bit of empathy in terms of what was happening that made people do certain stuff. And I feel like sometimes we got to put that human characteristic to black people, because people think that we're like not human, so we should be able to like sit. If you say sit like you would your dog, you know what I mean? We're human beings. People have problems. People are trying to deal with what was going on in that time. It was a very scary time for black folks in America. To me, the 80s was like, and the 90s was almost as scary. I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying I couldn't imagine going through a time when people were taking a substance and it turned them into a whole other spirit and energy showed up on this person, and you've never seen it before. That's the best way I can explain crack. Yeah. Like you didn't even know that what this person was going to do.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going to do next.
Yeah,
like,
but I say tell them what happened in the 60s to the best of your ability, because they do deserve to know. I know I talked to my mom about the 60s, and other elders when I meet people. When I meet people who were drug addicts and they used to be in the Black Panthers or in the Nation of Islam, I always say, what happened? And really be prepared for the answer. It's not about me agreeing or disagreeing. Yeah. I'm asking them. And I've met a lot of elders who were in all of these black power movements, and they ended up being on crack. And I was like, damn, what happened that you started smoking crack? And then what did you do with all of those emotions when you were smoking crack? Because just because you smoke crack doesn't mean that you don't have thoughts. That you don't, even though you're trying to smoke the thought away, it's still there. You still have emotions. And I think we got to talk about that. How did you feel not being able to be there for your kids? Did you ever have that as a thought in your mind? And I always tell people, don't be embarrassed. Tell us the truth. We could take it. Tell us like, hey, maybe I wasn't thinking about that. I was in so much pain, or I didn't know what to do, or, some people watch folks get blown away, and, like all kind of shit happened. Some people came home from Vietnam. We had that in our family who ended up being drug addicts. The stuff they seen in Vietnam just couldn't go away. It just wasn't going to go away with therapy on somebody's couch. Like, it was scary. These are scary times. What did you do with that emotion?
Well, a lot of us, I'm not talking about somebody that's been on crack, because they got to answer that. But I could talk from the standpoint of a casualty of that war. What did you do with the emotion? Yeah. Well, we didn't get to debrief. Nobody really talked to you about it. You carried it in your spirit. And, still, it's,
I think we need a healing.
We do. We need a debrief. Yeah. And we need a healing. And
I'm not saying it's going to be all at one time.
It ain't going to be. It can't be, because just talking about it, girl, it took me back. I was back in 1989 just now. Yeah.
Elena was saying they did. Not only did they organize the walkout, I remember that. They also created a workforce agency.
Who are we talking about?
No, it's Alana's comment. And Alana, I was able to understand that when Shaka Khan came and did a concert here, and we were waiting, because one of my friends know her. She was a fish photographer. And while we were waiting for Shaka Khan, all the workers came out to start cleaning up where we were. I don't know if it was at the Arco or something where. And it was all Mexicans. And I was like,
oh, that's what we
So okay. I think that is something to really look at. You know what I mean? Where back in the day, that would have all been us. Sister Allegra says, Sister Margot, you can't reach someone, and you have to love the rest. We can show them better than we can tell them. Say that again. You said that, Mommy and my mama.
Okay,
I can show you better than I can tell you. You better give her a fan.
Give her a fan for that, because that's real.
I can show you better than I can tell you. That was
my mama told you that, you could take that to the bank.
Yes, you can.
You could take that to the bank, baby. We got another comment. Call with. Oh, girl, my phone. I know my phone jumps too. Okay, girl, I done lost it now.
Okay, Sister is saying we have to explain. I love what she said. This COINTELPRO. Iran Contra. All of those orchestrated efforts. I'm sorry, my screen is to orchestrate efforts by the corporation. This generation understands the end, but not what was the catalyst. Right on. Right. That's why I think we got to teach them. We got to teach them what happened. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. I think that's something we can learn from our ancestors. I think a lot of our ancestors did not tell us what happened in slavery, because I think they didn't want us to feel bad about ourselves. But I think when we don't tell, first of all, we're doomed to repeat it, and second of all, we can't equip ourselves to beat this beast. We are, because we don't know. It's like the other team knows the game, but we don't know the game. So we're like, first, I see the same thing when I hear people trying to tell young folks somehow you're different than us. That's a part of the game. That's part of the game. That's to disconnect you from your root. And that's why you'll be sitting up in there asking white people, please fix me. Because you don't know your root. If you know your root, you would not be asking them to fix you. You will be fixing yourself.
We are who we
If you know the root now, you got to know the root.
Yeah.
If you don't know the root, you can't act. You don't even know what to ask. So I know it's painful, but damn it, if you're trying to save somebody's life, I love my mother used to say shit like, don't ever be a burden on somebody.
Ooh.
This is stuff she would tell us. Don't ever have children you can't afford. This is my mother.
Yeah, and take
Who
care
was married
of
when she had her 6 children. I'm just saying.
Take care of your children.
Yeah.
Take care of your own children.
Don't be putting your stuff on other people.
Yeah.
My mother would always tell us these things like, you don't ever want to be a burden in your society. She was really big on that. My mother had like 3 and 4 jobs. She's like, don't go get welfare. This is my mom. I think my mother got food stamps because she didn't make enough to take care of all of us, but my mother still had 2 jobs. She always worked. Couldn't stand a lazy person. I think that's where I get it from. My mother hated a lazy person. She'd be like, oh, ain't nothing like a lazy. That burned her whole stomach up.
I bet you never said you was bored.
Never. Because she'll find something for us to do.
If you say you was bored in my house, you fixing to start washing walls. We never said we was bored.
Javon's comment. See Javon's comment?
Okay.
I don't think people
in the community have addressed what it feels like to be a casualty of war. I know.
Say that again.
I don't think people in the community have addressed what it feels like to be a casualty of that war. That's real talk.
That's real talk, because it was a war.
It was a war. It was a war for us, the children and the grandchildren of drug addicts.
You better say that.
We got to give her a fan. Do your fan, too.
Get my fan,
because that's a
J-Mon,
double
that's
fan.
for you.
That's a double fan.
I'm a fan myself. That made me hot.
Yeah, that's real talk.
You know,
because I'm telling y'all, every time that it even come up when we say the word crack, take me back.
Yeah.
So
I think that's deep. I think that's something we need to look at in real time. And this is what I have to ask y'all. I gotta put it out there. When we're discussing that, how do we deal with people who perpetrated flooding our communities with dope? How do we deal with people like that?
I think it's a separate meeting. I think
it's the same thing because all that is a part of war. If we're talking about crack, and its impact. So, for instance, how do you feel about the person who sold your mama crack? I'll wait.
Oh, I wanted to kill them. Well,
that's what I'm saying. So that's a real emotion.
I wanted to kill them. I wanted them dead. And I didn't care why they was doing it. I didn't care why you was selling crack. I don't care what was happening in your household that made you feel like that you had to do this and you had to do that. I don't care. I wanted you dead. And I wanted to bust you in your head with a bat. I was a little girl, so that's all I was
here's the thing. See, that's how you being able to have that real thought is what's going to free black folks. Us taking the high road and trying to understand why he did it, that's not going to bring your daddy back to his sanity. I think that brings us back to accountability. And I think that's where we get stuck at. I think we try to be righteous and be like, well, here's a black man trying to survive. So you mean killing a piece of my soul will help you to survive? That just don't sound right. And that's part of it because we still have to walk on the planet with these people.
You know, you're just equal to the oppressor.
Oh, wait a minute now, Dana.
Girl, wait a minute.
They feelings, Javon. Javon.
No.
Her comment made me think of that.
No.
Her comment said, it's kind of like seeing Jewish people and they discovered somebody was a Nazi officer during the Holocaust. Ooh. They don't just sit and say, well, what was going on with that person that they signed on to Hitler to help do us like this? They don't think about no shit like that.
Well, honestly, I do wonder those thoughts, but at the same time, at some point, you don't give a damn. It's kind of like, dang, this just changed my whole life. Crack cocaine changed our whole reality.
Yes, it did.
It changed the whole structure and dynamic of the black family. And that happened everywhere. Wow. And I don't even know if we can get back. I mean, it's a worthy pursuit. We have to strive for it. But
we have to improve because you can never go back to anything. But you can improve on what the future will look like.
Yeah.
Because what happens is now we have children here with no mamas, with no daddies, with no grandparents, with no roots. Our foster care system boomed in the 80s, boomed in the 90s, boom, boom, boom. Now they're like a population of people like everybody else. So, yeah, we ain't going to ever go back, but how do we improve it? That's what I'm looking at. How do we learn from that? How do we deal with that person that did sell your people dope for some shoes? How do this person still have accountability to the community that he destroyed for some material, if that's what it was for? I'm just saying. More comments up in here.
Okay.
Allegra, you see the Allegra first? You see her? It said, emotional emancipation healing space is coming to you real soon for all of us. Yes, every attack against our people is an extension of that COINTELPRO playbook. No new game. Wake up, family. Real talk. The game is great. It's a great game. It works. You don't change up the game if the game is working. You don't change the play if the team is winning. Khadijah.
Okay, so
Khadijah?
yeah, but I think it started with mine start with Javon. Okay, so
hers, the older generation has to tell us what happened. She said the older Khadijah says, pieces. The older generation has to tell us what happened, but not expect us to follow the blueprint they laid out because it clearly didn't work. Oops, or we would not be having this conversation. Right on, sis. Some of that stuff didn't work. Some of the stuff didn't work. Yeah. Right on. I'm saying it in my rest in peace voice. Some of that didn't work. Oh, wow. But we got to know so we can get up and fight. If we get up and fight, we got to know about them. We got to know what they play. Okay, who's next? Khadijah Jordan, you see her?
I'm starting at
okay,
Javon.
Hold on, let me get Khadijah Jordan in real quick, and then Javon's after her. Okay. I love this. It's good, sis. I have to run. I can't wait to come back and play the broadcast.
Yes,
is there a podcast? No, ain't no podcast. It's Facebook Live. But we working on it. I got all the equipment, but I'm just kind of.
You'll be able to see it though.
Yeah,
sis.
You will. Just come back and check in. We love you, sis. You have a good day.
Yes,
please,
family.
Go to Khadijah's comment.
Okay,
Javon.
Sister Javon, I am sad and angry about that, but I know that part of the conspiracy was changing our values, and that worked. It worked, Queen. Sister Khadijah says, we identify who they are and hold them accountable, period, point blank. Okay. All right, Khadijah. Queen Margot says, I wanted to turn them in and expose them to the community.
Real talk.
Okay. And then Sister Allegra says, no. I think she was responding to something. Sister Javon says, I am the daughter of a drug addict and drug dealer. I have heard the experience and mine set off both. Okay,
hold on. What you said that's what Javon is?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know where you at. Okay, go ahead.
No, I know because I'm going to see my phone jumps. I'm going to have to bring my laptop. So, because I think you keep it going. Okay, and then Sister Javon also says, our enemy who attacks us through music.
All right.
We were just talking about that. Attacks us through music, media, and culture came full force with a strategic plan to destroy. Real talk. That was the plan. Lisa is saying, good morning, Queen. Sister Javon says, I don't think people on either side could imagine what would happen. Okay, I agree with that. Margot says, we supposed to be poor, so I do, and where did they get the money? That's because in the 70s, they flood the black community. So I get what you're saying. You're saying that we didn't go and charter boats and stuff to go pick that stuff up. You're saying that it was put into and placed in our community?
But here's the thing. I agree with everybody saying, but I also think there's a time where, that's like saying, for instance, if you're okay with that person, that's good for you. But I think we have to make room for people who don't have that kind of understanding, because when people have dead relatives as a result of crack, they ain't trying to hear none of that shit, because I'm one of them. And so for it's kind of like, I don't really give a fuck what you was going through. I don't give a fuck if you had no food. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You was wrong as two left shoes. If you kill somebody's spirit and destroy a family, I don't get to care about why you did it. I don't care about these other people's plan. They have always had a plan. They have always had a plan since bringing us to these shores, against our will. There has always been a plan. We have to have a little bit more value and worth on black life, and not always say when the white people kills us is wrong, but when we do it, it has to be an excuse. It's wrong. You're a human being. You killed another human being. You destroyed another human being. You altered the course of where we were going.
That part.
That's what gets me.
Can you say that? That's what happened.
It altered the course of where we were going.
That's what, and it set us all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost my spot, so I know there's some people made some comments.
No, I know.
Can't see it. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
but I agree. I'm just saying, I just know for some of us, that person did not live to see where their children became, or or kiss their grandchildren, or watch your children growing to become whoever they were going to become. You can't wipe that away with understanding why they did it. I don't give a fuck. I'm just being honest. I feel like they need to pay with their life, or there need to be a special tax that they pay until they die. That's what I believe. I feel like if you went to prison for 25 years and you came out and got a job, you should be paying a special tax that goes back into your communities that you destroyed. That's what I believe. I don't believe that you should give forgiveness because you black like me. I don't give a damn. You was wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong. And the people who support your madness is wrong too, because you know that that's not right. How do you look somebody in the face and say, this is why your mama not here? This is why your daddy's not here. This is why you don't have generational wealth. This is why.
Whoa.
Why is this person walking around hugging and kissing on their goddamn kids? Buying their kids cars and houses and, supplying them with support. But you still get to do that even though you made your money off of the backs of my dead ancestors that you contribute to, not white people. I'm talking about us, the people who was out there. I wasn't out there selling, but I'm just saying, those people. I think there has to be a big accountability to that. And it can't be, we always want to ask the victims. This is another thing black people do. We always want to ask the victims of shit to have some kind of special forgiveness thing. No, they need to pay the price. They don't get to just act like you just going to be forgiven. Fuck that. Sorry, I got a little emotional because I think that black folks, we done lost our goddamn mind. There are people that ain't ever coming back. There's people we got to explain to their children what happened to them.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do.
And we have to explain now to the generation now, why we don't have nothing. Like, why stuff is not in place. And part of that is because of that. You also made me think about when we talk about
Sister Denise Marshall, I'm sorry, I got to read her comments. She said crack was the only thing that kept black women from caring for their children. Man. Slavery could not do that, but crack did. Denise, let me tell you something. That's real talk. That's real talk. It broke a bond between a mother and her children, and slavery couldn't even do that.
Slavery couldn't even do that.
Damn it, that was deep. Yeah, that was deep. That was deep. That was deep. That got me all messed up in this.
I know, girl. I'm back. I'm in San Francisco right now.
Yeah, that's heavy though. Because that's heavy.
It's especially when you haven't had healing from it. Ooh. So it's a trigger. Like it just take you back. Ooh.
I just know when I look at people's children and their parents ain't here, it makes me feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because they were robbed of that. They were robbed. And there's no way you can excuse that. I don't want to hear that. I think for me, I grew up with a woman who did not believe in excuses. Yeah. She said, just take that shit. Like if you did something, just say I messed up, I did it, or whatever. But don't act like, well, what had happened was, like, she don't want to hear that shit. Because that's a part of being a human being. You get to stand and be responsible either way. And I'm so grateful that I had it as a lesson, that I didn't get that later in life. But I also know, too, that, that's heavy. That's very diabolical. That's like me saying I didn't know when I led somebody into a certain place because somebody paid me to that they was going to kill them. Well, hell, I still led the person there. So blood is on my hands, too. Yeah,
and so you have to pay. Other cultures, if you do something, like, for example, I'm just going to throw up Arabia. I don't, Saudi Arabia, I don't know if that's the right country or where they do it at. But you know how if you steal something, they cut your hand off? No, but what I'm saying is, do you know that the crime in other places where they just go on and just deal with stuff right off, the crime is less. They have less crime. Maybe we would have less drive-by shootings and less of us killing each other if we had like accountability piece.
Right on. Khadijah said there are a lot of people who did not use or sell crack and live and survive the crack era. Stop making excuses for black folks fuck up. Now, Khadijah,
let's go on and open
stop cussing. No, this is a joke between me and her because I'm working on my cussing. I'm sorry, I cussed a lot this morning. I'm so sorry. I'm working on it. I think that cussing is a special type of language that you use instead of like choking somebody.
But some words you need. And Richard Pryor used to talk about that. It's one word you need. Yeah, it's a couple words you need.
So Margaret says, I'm working hard to get back to my community on GP. Real talk. That's right. Javon said right. I can't definitely find Denise's comment. But I wanted to use that too. Yeah.
I know.
Denise's comment was like, man, like how basically drugs basically stopped the black woman from caring for her children, and slavery didn't even do that.
Even black marriage too.
Yeah.
People was married that.
Yeah. We're gonna always find a way to do it. But I just feel like something happened where. Something happened where I saw it just did something to the spirit. That's all I'm saying.
Aunt Tina says, I am getting ready for church. You both keep telling the truth about what's going on about drugs. All right, Aunt Tina, have a good day at church.
Yeah, please do say a prayer for us. Black folks, we need prayer.
Say a prayer please say a prayer for your girl.
We need prayer. We don't need prayer. We need prayer. We need prayer.
Prayer. Put me on the prayer list.
Put me on the prayer list.
Yes.
Real
Sister
talk,
Javon
y'all.
said black folks don't want that kind of accountability. That is why they follow white people.
Well.
I know. It's always some stuff you just
you don't even have the words.
Yeah,
for it.
you don't even.
You can't even really say nothing. You
right?
know
It's just like
okay. Because I think one thing that was taken from a lot of us, not all of us, was our ability to do for self, like that part of being a human being. It's kind of like when we do stuff, we'll say, "Well, I'm human shit." Like we'll say that, but I think a lot of us have lost that ability.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like when I look at the condition of our people, I know that I got to do something. Yeah. I don't think like I got to go find some people to help me. It's like, how am I going to get this done immediately? Because I came from a woman who did that by her damn self. So, you know, I got other people I can call. I'll call Dan. I'll call my sisters. My brother. Hey, y'all, I'm going to need y'all to help me get this in. I'm going to need, you know, some of us have lost that ability, you know, and don't think much of it unless other groups are signing on to it. Mm-hmm. You think of color was a new racial group. For some Negroes. It's like, no. But, you know, if Latinos are in some of the same boats with us in terms of education, but they speak in Spanish, what we speaking?
Right.
Thank you, bro. I needed that fan because it just got hot up in here. So what I did on my Facebook page, y'all know I'm crazy. On my Facebook page, I put on this thing around black marriage. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes we don't highlight those black people. I guess on Friday, 3 people I knew it was their wedding anniversary on the same day. You know, so it was like Gina Warren and Alan Warren, Tina and Daryl Roberts, LeBron and his wife, I don't really know them. But it was somebody, I can't remember the third person. But I said the third couple, and I was like, damn, black love does live.
Black love is,
you know,
yeah,
and then my homegirl, Christy, her mom and her husband, Mr. Franklin, was there. I was like, we got to talk about that black love. So even through all of that, black folks still trying to create family.
They still trying to become one.
Because I know people through the crack era that's what broke their marriage up.
Even some people stayed married, but their marriage was broke up because of crack. Even though they stayed married. I'm telling you something I know, not nothing I heard.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
You see some of these comments here, I get you that. Then I said, let's play Laugh Out Loud for us all. You ain't never lied, Khadijah. She said, crack gave our community a long-lasting crippling of disability that there is no diagnosis for right on. That's why I think it's hard for us to be in groups with other people. I really do, because they'll be looking like, well, this is what we was able to do for our community. Why can't you do that for yours?
Yeah, that's why we have to do it. We can't. You put a post up, dang, and I know I'm paraphrasing, but you put a post up. No, I think it was when you said, I refuse to talk. I'm not going to talk. I cannot talk about racism.
I cannot agree with racism.
With white people. You said I can't talk about racism with white people.
Yeah, because they don't want to hear that. Because some of the stuff was law for white people. I think sometimes we forget. Javon pointed this out to me. That's kind of where I understood it at. When she said that when you start talking about slavery, white folks would tell you, but it was the law, though. I don't like if they ever obeyed the goddamn law. But they will say to you, but that was the law. Slavery was the law.
And that's why you acted like a dog?
Well, because you weren't a human being. It's like today, this is how psychotic we are. Today you're a human being because the law changed. And now I have to see you as a human being. But if it was the day before,
then I wouldn't have to.
You would not be a human being.
So now that the law changed, can you rush me my check?
I didn't say I was going to pay you now. You want too much. You was just a slave yesterday.
No, I want my money.
You was just a slave yesterday.
I need my money. Could you imagine, y'all, what if we got reparations checks? No, I'm serious. What if we got reparations checks in our mailbox on Monday morning?
Cadillac will be rich by Tuesday morning.
I was fixing to say, how many people would build?
Y'all know and I feel like some of this stuff is like, it's crazy. I mean, I'm just saying, I just think it's really crazy. You're right, we definitely should have reparations, but, you know, some people think reparations is going to the school with the people who killed us. They think that's reparations. I'll tell you like this is my honest God truth. I feel like when you came to take me or to purchase me, capture me, whatever phrase we want to put on to make ourselves feel good, because white folks weren't the only people selling slaves. When you came and I was enslaved by you, you know, we never ever really thought about, you know, you didn't think that I could govern myself and that I came from my own culture. I think that is something that we need to look at. And I think when you talk like that, that's when you're going to start seeing people who are going to go with white people. And I say, good riddance to you, bye-bye. And those who would try to go for self. Because before you came and enslaved me and brought me here, I was already doing my own. And I'm going to be honest with you, in the core part of my soul, I'm fighting to get that back.
Yeah,
I'm fighting to get that back. I deserve that. That's going to help me to resurrect my ancestors and to redeem their lives and their struggle.
Right.
It's for us to be who we really are, not who people think we should be.
Right.
But the redemption is in allowing me, you know, to be who I am and not who you think I should be.
Right.
We all deserve that, if that's what you want. Now, some of us are just slaves, and you want to be a slave, and I'm okay. It's not my job to wake your ass up. You can stay snoring and all 9-10. Honestly, I'm so serious. But for those of us who are awake, who deserve to have to govern self and everything else, and of course, I do want my people's money. I get that, but I feel like I deserve that. I just think some people, you cannot wake up. That's their job. They're supposed to be doing whatever it is that they're doing. Because all of us at this late date and time know what time it is. If number 45 and all that he's put forward, I believe the man was sent by the ancestors. I think people don't always come on a white horse in their white 6-shooter or whatever. Sometimes they come exactly like they're supposed to, so we can be reminded of what they faced in their harshest times. This man was not the worst president. He's just a reminder of what the president was when our ancestors were clearly enslaved, and even after slavery. Yeah. And that's why they were able to do for self. That's why there was a Nation of Islam. That's why there were the Black Panther Party. That's why there was the Universal Negro Improvement Association with Marcus Garvey. That's why all those goddamn people exist. They didn't exist because we was living begging white people for something. They was existing because they knew they had to do for self, because they were human beings and they had a right to govern themselves and to build for themselves. That's why they were here. Yeah. And now we have to remember that, pick up the goddamn mantle and keep building. And keep it pushing. And stop complaining and stop begging and do for self. Yeah. Get up and do something for your black self and your damn children and your grandchildren. Get up and do something right now. I think it's ridiculous. You got more education in most damn countries, black people too. I know. Shit.
Yeah, we gonna do tea. We're going to have to do tea next time.
I can't even do nothing.
Let's do tea next time.
I can't see the comments. I can't see none of these comments.
No, this woman here, I love her. Okay, so we done tackle focus on black. Is it possible? We know it's possible.
Kenny said drop the mic. Yeah, I dropped the mic. I didn't want to break the mic, but
What is the impact? No,
what is the impact on culture? Okay, that's a great question.
That is a great question. We need to get to that other one too.
Okay.
Can others help?
Okay, that's
all right, Malcolm X.
Remember
when they asked Malcolm X? They asked Malcolm X, can we help?
Oh God. Y'all, I think this coffee could be kind of strong.
We're gonna do tea. I'm gonna do tea next week. I'm gonna bring the tea.
Lord Jesus. What's the impact? Culture is everything, honestly. I think you can learn a lot from culture. I know I did. I know when I watched it always amazed me how we all had nice jobs, and then we be asking my mom for $20 out of her Bible. Like, how did she, a woman on fixed income, have money in her Bible, and we made more money than she ever made probably in all her jobs put together, but we were always asking her for money.
Ain't that something?
So maybe, you know what I'm saying? So culture isn't important. Yes, the culture of saving money, that's important.
Yeah.
The culture of how you show up and look is important. The culture of you having your own identity in terms of, well, what is black, what is African? Like, for instance, when I look at some of my friends that are vegans and vegetarian, they know the culture of seasoning, because black folks ain't eating shit if it ain't seasoned. Like, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, that's just
if
not
it
what
ain't
we gonna-
seasoned, it can be very good for me. I know I'm supposed to eat it.
We're not gonna
but
do
if
it.
it don't taste right, my you know, so that's a culture though
Yeah.
that we created here. And I mean, I'm not even talking about going all the way back to Africa, because I think that Africa is in us.
Right.
I've been to
Right.
places and met African descendant people, and they do the same things we do right here. And we don't speak. We're not in Latin America. You know, we're in North America. Or I've been to Africa. I was like, oh my God, we do that. What's that called? So I'm just saying it's already in us.
Yeah.
But I think culture is important. How, like, for instance, when I would go around like my other friends and they would do certain stuff in their culture, like cuss their mama out, not happening in the culture I
you
come
ain't gonna
from.
do that in the black.
Not
no.
happening. No, seriously. 'Cause,
You're not gonna even say what.
yeah, or yup. We couldn't have to say
Like,
yes
who in the
or
hell
no,
is you talking
or yes
to?
ma'am, no ma'am, or sir, or whatever that is. I mean, I know that's a part of white culture, but that was their way of trying to get us to understand this is how you move and walk in the world.
Yeah.
But when we got home, you know what I mean? There are certain things we just didn't do. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't sit on my goddamn cocktail table. You do not put your ass on the cocktail table. I mean, your butt on the cocktail table. I've seen people go to your house and sit on their cocktail table. Like, you don't sit on the. I always do it at your house.
Yeah.
At my house, we don't do that.
Yeah.
You come in, you speak to my mom. Her name is Miss May. Her name is not May. She's
Yeah.
Miss May. This is my mama, okay?
You
And
speak
she's
to
not
the
your
oldest
friend.
person in the.
Definitely first.
White
Definitely.
people don't know that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you
Yeah.
know, my mother, you know, that's why I have so many jobs. My mother was a worker. Like, she just did not believe in just sitting around and just
Yeah.
not doing nothing.
No.
Or she was like, you know, we get ready to eat. My mom makes sure everybody kids get ready to eat. That's how we roll. So everybody had to eat. You just didn't
And we
just show
finna
up.
sit down to the table and we finna talk about your day.
My mama did that too. I'm just saying, like that. My mama did some things. And I'm so grateful because as a grown woman, some of the stuff that we struggle with is in the culture.
Yeah.
You know, people giving us things and say, you know, well, I talks to Jimmy. Yeah, but Jimmy also kills you when you go to sleep and shit. Like, I never thought. Damn it. I can't. No, for real. Like, you know, Jimmy would be killing his mom. You know, when she would set the house on
Jimmy
fire and shit
will
like that.
kill his
Go ahead, I gotta
mom.
get some. Keep talking. I'm gonna get this pen.
And be looking so deranged and crazy. But why, when you said Jimmy, I thought about that guy. And this part is not funny. But remember that guy that came in and people was having prayer meeting?
Oh yeah, that's my point.
Look how deranged Jimmy was looking. That's when you said Jimmy. That's who visual I got up.
I was thinking about, you know, just a name, but I just like, for instance, I'm gonna give you a good example, y'all. Not to jump over stuff. Y'all know I'm crazy. I had to get this plugged. My phone was like, I'm getting ready to go out. Okay, so what I was gonna say was, like, the brother who got shot by the cop in his apartment. To watch people come out and talk really bad about this brother, like his characters, the man is dead.
Why were they talking about that they have found weed? So what? Why did people really mention that?
Because I think that's
We got a problem, y'all.
No, I think black folks we're on a problem. We have a crisis. And now we have to figure out how do we deal with this crisis. Because I think, again, this is a lesson for us, from my ancestors. That's how I look at it.
Where's that lady at?
Well,
The lady that killed you?
well she's on manslaughter. I guess they got her for manslaughter. I don't know how she didn't get murdered, but maybe that'll change. I don't know. But again, yeah, for real, in the school. I don't know. But I just feel like as a people, we got to have a better way of responding to that. And I guess then they said they were romantically involved. I don't know. But I just know it's wrong as hell to walk into somebody's house and shoot their ass, like in their own house. That is ridiculous. And that wasn't Johnny, the white cop. This was Janie, the white cop woman. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not hearing many feminist groups saying anything about that.
Right.
I'm just saying. I haven't heard them come out and say that was wrong. Even though if you're a person walking around this planet, you had to come through a woman.
Sister Allegra says, preach, sis, love pics on the mantle. Talking about your, yeah.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yes. Khadijah, I have to leave, y'all. Headed to work. Love y'all. Love you too.
Love you too, Deja.
Sister Asatsu says, true talk. Sister Allegra says, speak when you enter. That's right. Speak when you
real.
enter. That's so simple. That's such a simple.
They would even make eye contact. Say if I was talking to somebody and you walk in the room, I would look at you with my eyes and say, hey, I see you, but I'm right here talking. I'm say, excuse me, how you doing, or something.
I'm
You're
going
absolutely
straight
correct.
to the elder.
Yeah.
I don't care where I'm at,
Real talk.
what, I'm just doing that. And so, Sister Yvette says, Peace Queen, our culture is to create. We set the bar for humanity, really. Yeah, we do. Everything is taken from us and redone by others. She also goes on to say, and it don't matter what the fuck he was doing. Nothing should be said about the victim. Yeah, I don't get
agree.
that. I don't get
agree.
that part.
I
I
agree.
don't understand that.
I agree. But I also feel like that's how people really feel about us.
Yep.
As well.
Yeah.
Because when white kids shoot up people, it'd be like, he had problems at home.
Like Jimmy you was talking about when they took him to Burger King or something, right?
Yeah, Jimmy went to Burger King. They fed him because he was hungry after killing all them goddamn people. You know, he was hungry.
Where he at now?
I don't know. I don't know. I sometimes I have to shut my damn mouth. Asatu said Jimmy burned up the house and shot up his school.
What? And it's good.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
And they managed to get Jimmy out alive, too.
So my question to y'all, can other people help us with our issues?
This is funny.
Now, y'all already know what I think.
Y'all know what I think, too. We are who we've been waiting for.
Yeah, I just feel like, can other people help us? Even if they good-hearted, can they help us, y'all? And I'm always grateful when I meet other people and they have a good heart. But I love it more when they're able to listen to you when you explain something about your culture if they're working with your people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Somebody said no. Vet said no. Why no, Vet? Why no?
She just said no. She said hell, not no, but hell no. I'm going to say this.
Talk to me.
I'm going to stretch and say this.
Stretch.
On some levels, they can. As far as if we're talking about a philanthropist, if somebody wants to invest, and even that is leery. But as far as helping
whoever funds it, runs it.
Right, all right, Rob. All right, Rob.
No, that's what I used to hear from our ex-boss.
So, but my thing is this. We have to do it. We have to fix our own stuff. So can others help? That's a powerful question.
So it depends on where the power is. Let's just be honest. Okay. I know I'm going to straight up be like, hell no, But I feel like I say it for instance, if the person is, I don't know, say the head counselor, and you're really trying to counsel people. I feel like if that is your position and you work with a bunch of black kids, then it will behoove you to talk to some black folks who know black culture and to listen to what they say. You cannot help us if you're trying to make me be you. You can't help us. Yeah. But if you're willing, because that's your title and you're interacting with a lot of black folks, to talk to people who understand black culture, I don't think it's some shit you can learn in the training. I really don't. But I also think you can help me to understand that's what's going on with this black girl or whatever, and be willing to okay, maybe I got to make sure she gets a counselor, and that counselor is somebody that's black, that's competent. Not just any Negro, but a black person who understands black culture, black plight, what the hell's going on. Definitely all that. So I think it depends on the situation, if they really can help or not. In those certain kinds, because most times with our children, their hands are in their life in school is in the hands of white people. It's in the hands of very few black. Even if the black person is the head of some shit, that don't mean they can get shit done. Let's just be honest, because they can help every other group. But when it comes to your group, then it's like, oh, I don't know. We don't want the white people to feel like I'm giving you special treatment. But you done gave Latino special treatment. You done gave all the lettered people, LBGQCY, whatever, you gave them special treatment. White kids, you give them special treatment. But black folks, you get to us and be like, oh, I don't want them to feel. And let me just say this, my public service announcement.
Why you say a letter, people?
Yeah, because they add letters on all the time, so I won't fuck up. But my thing of it is that it is not racism to let black people do their own shit. I think that's not racist. What is racist is when you target our kids for being what you call aggressive.
Yeah.
or outspoken, or she, that's what's racist. That's you. But I think when black people are trying to do something for themselves, you should just back the hell up and make way for them to do what they need to do. If you really want to help us, you would understand that concept.
That's
and
how
quit trying to control us.
That's how you can help, right? It's just understanding, even if you don't understand, but really just understanding that need, that we have a need to. We got to get ourselves together. What's happening?
Wait a minute. Beth said, at this point, we're barely supportive of ourselves. We're too wide open as a people and trusting due to the fact from long ago. I get that, Johnson. I get that. And then the sister Barry says, Obamaism. I kind of understand what that means. Because, he helped everybody, but we had to get whatever he gave white people. Okay, Obama. I love you though. I voted for you. I'll probably vote for you again.
Yeah, I'll vote for you again.
But I'm just saying, for me, as Rolanda Black Rowe, right here, this is, I didn't really feel the effects of the Obamaism, except for maybe more black men wanting to be more involved with black women who clearly look black. Maybe, it was nice seeing a black man love a black woman with his black daughters. Like, he gave me something in that in terms of eye candy, but actual policy and things like that that's going to impact me as Black Rolanda, not Black Rolanda who want to be with white people, she don't exist. But the one who want to be herself, whatever, I didn't get no reparation, I didn't get no special, because I ain't been in any of your stuff, so, yeah. Bam. Go ahead. What you see?
I missed the Satu's, Mama Satu.
Well, Yvette said something. We're just not close.
We're just not close knit enough. Like a lot of culture, that's one thing they don't copy, and that's true. Right. But I mean, it's still a worthy pursuit. It's still a word. I know people always tell me, "Dana, you're so communal. A lot of that is intentional." Yolanda Banks says, until we stop turning the other cheek, we will continue to go through what's manifesting. This cop need to pay. And yes, whites and any other race need to be a help to what's going on with our people.
Okay, I'm going to need you to expand on that. Because how do they help? Like, I look at Black Lives Matter, they got more white activists. How the hell does that happen if there's so much activism for us, but it doesn't change systemically how white people interact with black folks on their job, at the bank? How do we tell white people and others to help us? Because I think they only help themselves. I don't think they help black folks at all. I think they stand there and try to get rid of their white guilt, but then they still go back to their goddamn jobs and get their trust fund checks, and they do not help black folks. They don't make sure we get more loans. They don't make sure that we're able to have classes that specifically speak to black culture. I see Latinos have their own classes that speak to that, and Hmong and Tongan and all these other groups, but I don't see that for black folks. You have to tell white people he is not that kind of a trusting human being where you let him come up with his own shit. You have to, and I learned this from Asian groups, when they have white people help them do stuff, they tell them what they want, and they control the narrative to the way they move, because we know that if you give them the right to tell us what they need, they'll give us just what they're giving us right now. Not a goddamn thing. Go ahead. Stop saying that. What's the next question? But go ahead.
So
I feel you though.
So Yvette says, but that help from others comes at a price. We've paid enough. I see you, Queen. I feel you, Queen. Sister Javon says, love y'all. I gotta open the store. Yes, Queen. Matter of fact, what time is it, sis?
Yeah, it's 10:30. We about to sign off.
Okay. I gotta open the store, so I'm going to listen for about 5 minutes and check out. Peace, Queen. I hope you sell out of everything today.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Speaking of building, Yvette says, I don't trust their help. It's underlining.
Yeah, I just feel like you have to control what they do, because what happens is their ancestors have did such an awesome job on us that just their very presence in the room mean that they control what we say. That's how powerful these motherfuckers is.
No, let's go on there.
Let's get a wrap up.
You're going to fan yourself.
I'm going to fan myself, because just the very image of them is powerful to black psyche. We'll start changing up stuff. We start making them feel comfortable. We do a lot of stuff, and we don't even really know that it comes out of the psyche of being with these people. in the history of what they've done to us. They can almost tell if you are a Negro they can control, or if one they're gonna have to get rid of.
Yeah, and if they can't control you, they're
not like us. They don't try to reform
like
you. They break you. They kill you. They have a mission to accomplish. So they ain't got time to be trying to get you to understand why you must fall in line. Okay.
And so Yolanda says, I know we want to wrap up, but Yolanda says charity starts at home and then spreads abroad. That's true. And
did you see the Santos comment?
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. I agree. White folks take over. Like you mentioned with Black Lives Matter, they never own Native Americans or any other race. They feel like they own us. And that everything we have is their intellectual property.
Say that again. Because that's the part that's why you can't do a blanket statement, because that is really at the root of it.
Their help is a way to monitor us, even if they are not aware of it.
It just got quiet. So quiet you can hear rat piss on cot. That's an old school expression. But that is really the truth here. And I feel like we need to really sit down and take stock of what does it mean to be in relationship with these people. I just don't know no other group who've been through what we've been through. And really, because I watched a lot of stuff. So I sit and look like, this looks so crazy that you will be sitting with the descendants of your rapists who are still raping you because they're still in power. And then we're sitting next to them trying to really be equal.
So let me ask you this. Do you guys out there and do you guys have any white friends or associates that you can truly be your authentic self?
I do. But I can't be around them all the time.
So I'm gonna tell you, I have had a couple that I could just really truly be my authentic self. And then as I've gotten older, I'm just my authentic self, whether I can be or can't be. And I noticed I lost a few friends.
I lost some black friends. But you asked me about giving. Because sometimes black folks don't really be about that life. They just stuck in the black skin. They stuck. They stuck. So I have to always say to them, like, I'm cool with them. I can't be with them all the time, though, because one of the things I don't do with white people, and sometimes I don't do this with black folks either, I am not your mammy. I cannot sit up there and explain to you why I feel the way I feel. That shit is tiring. If you keep asking me, well, why? Like, well, why? I can't do that. I'm not going to lie. I'm not built like that. I can't do that. I can't be explaining to you why I feel the way I feel all the goddamn time. You know, and I know they only do it with black folks. It's almost like a safety check. But I'm not going to do nothing to you, but I have every right to feel that way. If we have a different response when I walk in the bank and you walk in the bank. I have a different response when I'm interacting with people or going to negotiate a contract. I have a different response than you would get, and you just sling your hair and do whatever. Because I watch white people who be a militant to the motherfucker, and then they go up in the meeting and they turn into white girl Sally. Like, oh my God. So I mean, we can do that.
And oh my God. And then
but that militant, they don't do that.
What is this? Why do they do this?
Because the hair,
I think they're trying to lay their... Oh, no, we do
that without weed. We do that without... We be like, you go hit it too long, that shit'll fly out of there.
Oh, it comes
But go ahead. So, if you ain't got that glue on there, right? That's sewing. Hey, go ahead and read the comment. Miss Yolanda Banks, Sister Yolanda.
She says, I'm looking into buying more land, cultivating, planting. Why she said planting and raising animals? Planting. That's what I'm telling. That's what I'm saying. Raising animals, teaching our children to cultivate and be self-sufficient.
Right on.
That's a part of it. That's the revolutionary stuff.
That's what we used to have in the South when your big mama had a garden in the back and all that stuff. Right on, sis.
And you had to pick those peas and sit on the porch and snap peas, and it was hot and stuff, but you still had to snap them. Yeah. And then,
hey, Nunu. Nunu said, that's right. I lost some black friends too. I feel you, boo. And then that says, but we're not equal. We're above. A lot just don't know it yet. Right on, sis. Really, you the mama. You the mama. So when you the mama, you have balance.
Queen mother.
Yeah, that's real talk. Real talk. You gonna read Sister
Berry, Lita Berry. She said, it amazes me how they slyly, our oppressors have defined how they let us protest their oppression of our people.
Shut up! That's all I can say. Shut up! That's so true. You know what I mean? Come on.
Okay, and then Caldwell Mercedes says racism is a white conversation. We have been screaming for over 400 years and they don't hear us. Racists don't recognize our humanity, let alone our voices. If you have white friends, hold them accountable or separate. Black folks want to kumbaya in order to maintain those relationships. Oh, Lord, it got smaller. Real talk. I have white friends who have checked my black friends on their coonism.
I've had that happen. It's the most embarrassing shit ever.
Yeah, but
go ahead, keep going.
Racists understand racism. I refuse to explain to a racist. There is no rational to the irrational. I know that's right.
That's real talk, sis.
And
that's real talk. I've had that where white people had to check a black person about what's going on with us for them to get understanding. I'm like, I begot, you know what?
And you know what, y'all? Y'all know when I get checked, I'll be like, thank you. If I could receive it, I'll receive a checking. And it's hard to take a checking, though, from it's hard to take that kind of checking, but it's real talk.
No, I've seen that, but that usually happens to coon fools, coon Negroes. And when you said that, that's true. I'm so serious. Usually they can hear the white people before they can hear you. You know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of my old used to say, the black man, the self-hatred is so deep with him that he'd rather buy his ice from the white man who bought his ice from the black man, instead of going to the black man to buy his ice. He think the white man's ice is colder, but the ice he got from the black man. That's my uncle, blessed memory. He'd have been like 90-something years old, born 1928. But I'm just saying, when I hear it, I'm like, that's real talk.
Yvette says, stay ready is her motto.
Yeah, I stay ready, but I stay ready and working, though. Hell with that. I'm with you, sis.
Yolanda said, love you, sister.
I do that, sister. Another courage to steal. Another black woman out there on her post, courage to steal.
Yeah.
Y'all, look here. We get ready to wind this down because you got to open the store, right?
Yes.
And I got to get some stuff done. I tried to. So I got this African sister from Ghana that lives in Sacramento, Javon. She made me another dope ass outfit. I'm just saying, I got, Lord, I just love this woman and she's very reasonable. And I just look like a queen when I stand up in this. But this is yellow, so I want to feel the yellow this morning.
Okay, because I'm feeling yellow. That's the goddess Oshun.
Yes.
This yellow is popping, y'all.
With my fan. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. So you read this last comment or a couple last comments. I can't get her. Yes, I'll give you her number, Javon. She's the bomb. You will love her.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like
I know. I got some material.
Girl, let me see if I can stand it. See.
She looks so cute.
Girl, look, it just kind of.
But
you see the sleeves?
Okay.
Girl, you can't tell a sister nothing.
No,
I'm so colored.
She is popping, Javon.
She the bomb, Jay. She the job. Just really beautiful. So anyway, yeah. Let's get these comments up here. Y'all, look, we getting ready to sign off. AJ, look, have a great day at the store. Sisters, stay woke, ready, and working.
Yeah.
Stay on your posts. Let us know what we can do to help. This week, I'm going to interview Sister. Oh, my God.
God, come on, sis.
I can't remember the sister's name. This is crazy.
See, we drinking tea next week. We ain't
I'm drinking tea.
And
I have one interview this week. Y'all, look here. I feel like in life it'd be so crazy that you really have to have a lot of laughter. Because it's crazy trying to juggle all this stuff in my head. Because I learned a lot of stuff that I got to juggle aside to remember. But anyway, so I have an interview coming up this week. Real quick before we sign off, the interview with Dr. Clavo was off the heezy. The woman is
a boss and a strong warrior.
Yeah.
I just see strength.
So she's going to help me do a series and work with me to help get this. I want to interview mothers who have lost their sons and to see what do you do? Because we know that that's something that occurs in our community. And I'm particularly interested in mothers who have lost their sons really to other black folks and gunplay and violence. Because I think sometimes we don't want to look at that. And again, that's that accountability with us as black people. How do we learn to have forgiveness, not just for somebody who sold crack, because we talked about that a little bit more in depth today, but how do we have patience with those of us who kill each other and not always have excuses? But how do we recognize people's pain around that, and how do they work through it? because we have a lot of black mothers out there who have lost their sons and daughters to senseless gun violence at the hands of other black folks, and we don't want to talk about it because we feel some kind of way, and we don't want to look like we're beating each other down. But when your child is lost, to gun violence, you don't get to go visit them. You don't get to go see what they become or whatever. They're gone. And she said something that made a lot of sense to me. She said that all I have of my son is memories, and it's hard to hold on to them because they start to fade. Ooh. And that touched me. That really touched me. And so when I hear people talking crap, it's like, just shut your damn mouth.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better to be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm learning that.
But even if you don't like the person, I cannot like someone, but I'm not going to mock the fact that they lost a child. And because really all you do, I think about my mother, and I have a lot of memories of her, but they really are faded memories. Sometimes it really does fade like color, but I'll be holding on to her memories through her pictures, and I'll have a sense or a smell, and it takes me back to a certain time period. And so for me, I really want to focus more on having this conversation, and I also want to pull on the strength of the black woman, because I think that some of who we are key to a lot of this violence going on, because we birth the whole nation. And so I think we have to really assert that bond that women have with their children and that empathy. And I think that we can do it, but I think it's going to take a little bit more work than just saying, I give birth. It's more than just giving birth. It's what you do with that child that would help them to understand that we don't kill each other. I don't care if y'all square up and fight each other, but you don't get to kill each other. You know what I mean? Back in the day, people used to just fight each other or whatever, but nowadays we kill each other. And I think that that's not okay. And I think we have the power to do something about it. So y'all, you hear the church, you get ready to start getting it in. Boom, 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 boom.
Let me see.
What's your closing thoughts, sis?
First of all, I just want to thank Genoa Barrow and T. Locke Speaks for coming out yesterday to the writers group. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the African marketplace. Please, the African marketplace, next one is October 6th. It's going to be something amazing and special. Thank you guys for all of your support of Nubian Family Beauty Supply. This week, we'll be working with the youth this Thursday night on youth activism and accountability. So that's going to happen this Thursday at the Martin Luther King Library. We also are going to be Boys in the Hood Book Club is back, and it will be this Friday. So I'll post some links. And see, is there anything else?
No, I just want to give another shout out to the 3 sister organizations that put together that forum around the candidates for California Superintendent of Public Instruction. The link is on my page. I broadcast it live, and the recording came out really good. But I also want to thank Kelly Todd, Sister-elect, Black Women Lead, and the California Black Media group for basically putting that together. Yes. Y'all, whether if your kid go to public school, charter school, if your nieces and nephews, y'all know somebody who is in this school system. When you go to vote, vote your conscience, but vote for who really has the best record to helping our children, and who knows Freedom School and some other things. So I want to thank them for allowing me to come in and sit and partake in that. But also get the word out, y'all. This is the California Superintendent of Public Instruction. They have 2 candidates. Check them out and make your voice be heard. And then also on Wednesday, get your shout out.
No, I don't want to interrupt you.
And then the other thing is that this week we'll be talking about relationships between black men and black women. But you know me, I'm going to push the envelope a little bit. I think we need to have a conversation from a different perspective, and maybe looking at some of the positive relationships that work, and then maybe we can make some I statements and really talk about what doesn't work for you. Because when you start saying I statement, black folks almost start leaving the building. Because that's an accountability piece.
So that's what's going to be on
Wednesday night.
This Wednesday at
this Wednesday night, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Or 6:30, y'all. 6:30.
6:30, yeah, because I've been enjoying them. I'm going to try and stop in.
Yeah, that one last week was hilarious.
I'm in love with love, y'all. I want to give a shout out to the Queens, Kelly Todd, Rolanda, Wilkins, not oh Lord, and Christy Kelchum. I hope I said her name right.
Yeah.
Y'all, the women's leadership program that they are doing it is amazing. And I know we probably shouldn't tell all of the stuff, but we worked on unmasking.
Yeah, and it was just awesome. It's awesome process, y'all.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we'll be back on this week. We got a couple
Yes.
more times to go. So we got to get out of here, go to church, and get ready to get it in.
I know, but I
Thank
just want to
you,
tell
Dana.
you guys thank you for doing that.
No, thank you. Did you finish your home? Did you type that up? Did you finish your home?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna mess with like. Did you
Yeah.
get your stuff? Where my
Yeah,
glasses
did you
at?
get your stuff together? Yes. Yeah, it's a good program, and so I would just encourage other women to get on for the second cohort.
Yeah.
When does the second cohort
We're gonna
start?
start that. It's really probably gonna be at the end of October.
Yeah,
Or
it
beginning
is
of
really
November,
good.
yeah.
It's really good. But anyway, I know they're getting ready to start.
They get ready. Y'all hear the drums? Ba boom, ba boom, ba boom.
Yeah, it's really about to start jamming. Me and Ro about to get our little dance song before we go on about our day.
You better tell it. I just love our people.
Yeah.
All right, family. Peace.
Peace.
Let me get up and stop this thing.
Peace and power.